Hey guys, we're back again with Piskelapp, and we are getting into the nitty-gritty of it now. We already went over some of the basic tools, and we went over how to use layers in this program. But some of you may have noticed with playing around that this program has another function, and that's over here in this section right here. We've got our layers over here, our tools over here, and right here we have what are called frames. Now, the thing I haven't told you about this program is that it's actually an animation program. We can create moving pictures with this program. So let me show you a little bit how to do that. First, I'm going to go ahead and draw a picture. Beautiful, right? This is something that you can all do at this point. Shouldn't be any trouble at all. Boom, boom, boom. We've got what looks like a face here. Okay? Now let's try and make it move. The way we're going to do that is with these buttons over here. There's this big old button here that is add new frame. And my advice to you is to not use it. All right, when we do click it, we get a brand new frame and we get this blinking over here on the right. That's because our image is swapping between these two pictures that we have here, the face and the empty page we got right here. Okay, we can click back and forth and see what they look like and change both of them. But there's actually a much easier way to create an animation, because right now we just got a flashing effect. All right, I'm going to delete this frame by clicking on the trash can. And instead of clicking add new frame this time, I'm going to mouse over my previous frame. And I've got these little pages down here. This is duplicate this frame. When I click on this, doesn't seem like anything's happening here. There's no animation, there's no flashing, but that's because we have the exact same thing on these two frames. All right, it is alternating between the two, but they're exactly the same, so it's not going to change anything. But this allows us, instead of redrawing our picture, now we can make a small adjustment to the second frame, and we'll start to get an animation. So let's make this guy blink his eyes. So what I'm going to do here is just draw a line across here. And now you'll see it starts to flash because we got two different things that's going between them. I'm going to erase this top line here. Now it kind of looks like he's doing that eyebrow thing, right? This FPS, these are frames per second. This controls the speed at which it changes between the frames that you have. If you crank it all the way up, it's going to go very fast. Just turning it down so that we don't have too much. This button right here next to the FPS is the onion skin. If we click this, we get a little ghosty image of the frame before. This is showing us what's on frame number 1 while we're on frame number 2. This can be very useful if you're trying to move things around just a little bit every time we're trying to change something or make it match the frame from before. Okay? So right now we got his eyes closing a little bit. We want to make them close all the way, so I'm going to repeat this process a couple times. I'm going to duplicate now this frame where his eyes are almost half closed. I'm going to draw another line across here. I'm going to erase what's above it. Okay, now you can see we got 3 frames. We got all the way open, a little bit closed, halfway closed. I'll duplicate it again. All right, and now I'm going to erase most of this so his eyes look like they're closed all the way. As you can see, you can speed it up a little bit. Now it looks like he's blinking. Okay? Now, his eyes are snapping right back open after they're closed. That's not real natural, so we should have him open them back up. All right? And we could duplicate this frame just like we did before and start drawing his eyes back up there. But we already have these frames here where his eyes are already partially closed. So instead of doing that, let me delete this. I'm just going to duplicate this frame right here where his eyes are mostly closed. You can see now I've got frame 3 and 4 are exactly the same, and you can move these frames around. Now this can get a little bit confusing if you're not paying attention, but I can click and drag this and see now it's at the bottom of my frames. And I'll let go, and now we have all the way open, kind of closed, most of the way closed, closed all the way, and now kind of open. So you can see we got a little bit more of an animation there. Looks like it's opening back up. All right, we could do the same thing with this one here where they're most of the way open. We'll duplicate that and carefully drag that down to the bottom of our animation down here. Make sure you see where it's going to go before you let go. And now we have a pretty smooth animation of the eyes open, closing, and open again. All right, the last thing we're going to do to alter this is, right now he's just constantly blinking. You don't blink all the time. So how can we pause on this frame for a little bit longer where his eyes are all the way open? Well, there's no way to change the time spent on a single frame, but we can add more of the same frame in here in order to make it seem like it's paused on it. So if I duplicate this first frame, let's say 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you can see frames 1 through 5 over here are exactly the same, and it's going to spend the same amount of time on these frames as it spends on the other frames. So you can see his eyes stay open for a little bit longer. All right, we could do it even more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we got 10 frames, if my math is right. Yep, 10 frames where his eyes are open all the way. And then it goes through the animation, the other frames where it's blinking. Okay, your assignment for today is to create an animation using this program, using the skills that you learned with the basic tools and even the layers if you decide that you want to do that. In order for you to submit this, however, we have to save it in a special way so that I can see how it moves. In order to do that, we are going to go to Export. We get a lot of options here. Stay calm. We want to click on GIF, G-I-F. Okay. Then you want to click on the download button, and you'll get a little message down here with a loading bar. You can't see because of my tools. But once that gets to 100%, it will download it to your computer just like that. And you'll be able to upload that to the classroom. So give that a try. Try messing with your frames, make an animation, keep an eye up here. If you can't see this or if it's really small, if you mouse over this first part, it might show up like this and go to full. You'll be able to see the whole thing. But that is the main focus of this program. That's what we're going to be using it for. So get used to using frames, get used to exporting as a GIF, the little mountain with the sun up there. Clicking on GIF, clicking on download, and get that turned into me today. Good luck, and I'll see you soon.